Hey guys, it's Gordon. Today we're going to talk about solution selling. This is part one of two videos that I'll be talking about solution selling. I wanted to do this video because I see a lot of people on LinkedIn that are putting solution selling down as a skill set, but it's important to really understand exactly what solution selling is compared to actually just selling a tech product itself. They're two very different things, and I'll tell you, if you can pick up the actual skill set of selling a solution, you will make a ton more money compared to a product person, a person out there just hustling a product to someone. And so let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to need when it comes to setting up a meeting with someone based upon conceptual selling is you're going to need a valid business reason. The valid business reason is really important because without it, you're not going to be able to even get the time of day from someone to actually have a meeting to discuss the solution itself. And the valid business reason is in the mind of the buyer, not the seller, not you. So it's important to be able to elicit and discover exactly what would be a valid business reason from the buyer itself. And you can do this by doing some open-ended phone calling to the actual potential point of contact and maybe discuss exactly who you are, what your company represents, and then talk about, is there a time we can just sit down and talk about what your current challenges are. Or you can say it over the phone. What are you currently experiencing for any kind of challenges? What do you do? Do you have some time to really talk about that? And then they can unearth exactly what the valid business reason is, so you can say, great, why don't we sit down and talk about that? I think I have something that is definitely worth listening to solve that problem. So there you go. So you're going to need a VBR to get in to have a meeting set. Without it, they won't even give you the time of day. Now, there are three different kinds of buying influences that you can set up these solution-based meetings with. You have your economic buying influence, you have your technical buying influence, and you have your user buying influence. The economic buying influence, they are the final authority when it comes to signing a contract and holding on to the purse strings of the money that can be allocated to the proposed solution that you're looking to do. They are the ones that you're ultimately having to convince and sell your solution to. Then you have your technical buying influence. Sometimes they can also wear the hat of the EBI, but typically not. So the technical buying influence are going to be your IT personnel working for the company, or maybe a contracted out IT company that is performing that capacity externally, and as well as maybe a trusted advisory role as well for the EBI when it comes to tech stuff. Then you have your user buying influence. These are the end users of the technology itself. As an example, if you're selling a phone system or a voice over IP system, these would be the people that are using the phones. So this can be a very powerful coaching influence as well that you can get a hold of that could almost always have the informal or formal ear of the economic buying influence. So if you know someone that is in good with the economic buying influence, you can have them kind of cheerlead you along this process to the economic buying influence that they do want to make this decision, and this solution is going to solve the various problems that they've identified with you. Okay? And you should also have a single sales objective. There should always be something that is that you're trying to achieve in any one single meeting, whether that's to have a contract signed, whether that's to maybe have them authorize you to send them a quote, whether that is to get them to get you their current bill for their tech spend, things like that. You should have some sort of generalized objective you're designing to achieve in that particular meeting. Okay? You also want to have a best action commitment and a minimum action commitment. These are things that these are outcomes that you want to ultimately achieve in the meeting at some point. Best action, maybe it can be anything from actually signing the contract on the spot. It can be possibly stating what their IT spend is. It could be a variety of things that are going to help maximize your effort in moving the ball forward in getting that deal and that solution sold. Minimum action commitment. This is the bare minimum you're willing to accept in the meeting itself. There is some sort of action they are going to need to perform from a minimal standpoint for you to continue to work with them. And this is important. It's hard to commit to this, but if they don't perform the minimum action, maybe it's are they willing to meet with you in a week or 2 weeks? Something like that. Are they willing to kind of do that to continue in this process? And if they're not, if they do not meet your minimum action commitment, you have to cut bait. You have to begin to disengage yourself from them and move on to the next client. And a lot of people have a very hard time with doing that. And because they just want to hold on to that client with a death grip, believing that they're going to be able to make them believe in what they're selling. It may not be the right time. They may not have the money, and you may not have been able to sell the right solution, and you may have a competitor that is also competing with a similar or identical solution. There could be a variety of things. Or there could be basic issues going on, which is something we're going to talk about in the part 2 video, okay? But if they don't meet that minimum action commitment, you need to begin to give them the heave-ho. Credibility. Credibility and unique strengths. We need to be able to bring some sort of credibility to the table, and this can be done in a variety of ways. It could be the company that you're representing that has formal credibility. It could be your certifications that you personally hold, whether it's in Wi-Fi or networking or something that is related, hopefully related to the solution when it comes to the company that you're targeting itself. Or it could be related to the vertical. If you're involved in a medical vertical of some sort and you have a HIPAA certification, that'd be tremendous. I can guarantee you they would align themselves with you very closely if you're able to say, hey, I have a certification for HIPAA and we're proposing a electronic file solution for you, and I know what I'm doing for you. So credibility is important. You have to be able to establish that you have some sort of trust that can be cemented in there at some point in the solution process itself. And then you have unique strengths, a strength that you're bringing to the table. Maybe you've worked and you specialize in a particular vertical, and you're going to tell them, hey, I'm an expert in dealing with the medical solutions from a tech perspective, and I have all these different references that you can call upon that'll tell you exactly, how I'm able to do business and how I've been a success selling to other similar medical companies and made their lives and their performance and their revenue much better from the solutions I've proposed. So establishing credibility and unique strengths is really important. So I want to cover all these things and let you know if you're able to really just put all this together and begin to use these things in your tech meetings, when it comes to conceptual selling, you're going to have a much higher percentage of closing deals, much higher percentage, and you're going to make a whole lot more money. So always remember, you're going to need a valid business reason. Without it, you're sunk. You're going to need to know exactly who you're talking to, the EBI, the TBI, or the UBI, okay? You're going to need to have some sort of objective when you go in the meeting, so you're not just going in there blind. you're going to need to have an objective for yourself to try to work toward obtaining. And then you're going to need to have a best and minimum action commitment. Okay, you need to have that best one for what you're ultimately hoping to achieve in that meeting from the highest perspective, and then you're going to have a minimum, that the bare minimum that you're willing to accept, and without that you just have to walk away, more or less. And then credibility and unique strengths. I hope that all helps. I hope that gives you more information on why solution selling is important and how it's going to be able to ultimately make you more money and a better salesperson. Thanks.